Good afternoon. My name is Michael Crowder, paramedic with Best Health EMS. Today I'd like to discuss with you my proposal for a basic self-defense course within our community. Community Basic Self-Defense Course, what is it? Quite simply, it's self-defense for an individual person within the community. There are many different types of self-defense courses out there, to martial arts, basic law enforcement training, things like that. But I wanted our citizens just to get the bare minimum of what they could use or tactics they could use to defend themselves should there be an attacker. In preparing this program, I've taken into consideration many factors that contribute to the confidence and ability level of our citizens. And I feel that I have created a program model that will not only be accessible to many different demographics of our citizens, but one that will instill confidence to our participants, no matter their ability, ages, or experience. So there are multiple steps that went into developing this program. The first step of the planning process was initiating the program was to research similar existing programs. I found that although there are plenty of programs aimed towards a certain demographic, which are mostly young women, there's a need for this type of program all throughout our community, whether it be the elderly population, the young, also for children, to be able to defend themselves against bullies, child predators, just multiple different aspects throughout our area. So focusing on that, I went to my next step, which is the planning was regarding organization of a staff for this program. Within this program, you're going to need a few different levels. So you're going to need a program director who's going to oversee everything. You're going to need a public relations director who's going to be able to speak with the public, reach out to the public so we can gather more information, as well as self-defense instructors, obviously. Community liaisons, such as our police officers. I want to work very closely with them. And also an attorney who had experience in contract law, as well as being familiar with aspects of licensures necessary for this type of program to be able to actually be carried out. So continuing the planning process, I evaluated the overall goal of the program. And the overall goal of the program was to give our citizens of our community knowledge necessary to defend themselves should that situation arise. I had to determine a number of participants necessary, as well as a number of courses we would have to provide or offer in order to reach our end goal. I set a short-term, mid-term, and long-term goals for our community to reach using this self-defense program. I then compiled a data collection tool using a survey that was distributed both in person and on various online forums. Using the data collected from over 25,000 of our citizens, I was able to compile quantitative information in order to move on to the budgeting portion of the program's planning phase. So the final step in planning for the Community Basic Self-Defense Program was creating a budget for the program. Using the data that was supplied by the quantitative survey, I estimated that we would have around 12,000 participants in the first year of our program. This information allowed me to find a good location to rent, as well as determine what type of equipment and how much of that equipment we would need in order to provide these classes to that substantial number of people. And also it was able to help me determine this type of how large or how small the classes particularly would be to be able to be beneficial, along with how many instructors that we had. At this point, I will act as the program director, and I will create and update the course curriculum with the assistance of my self-defense instructors as well as my attorney that will be discussed later. I will employ a public relations director who will be responsible for organizing contracted individuals from local law enforcement agencies, as well as retaining an attorney to aid in contract certification requirements. I found that employing 5 certified self-defense instructors who would hold 180 defense classes a year was going to be plenty in order to get those first 12,000 that are projected for the first year. We determined that we would have classes no more than 14 per student, and that number was that we would have no more than 14 students per class, and that came from being able to have that instructor have that more one-on-one relationship. We determined a good budget goal would be $40 per participant, and classes would be held Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, all being from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. and Saturday mornings from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. We also came up with equipment and supplies. So each self-defense instructor will be issued a high-impact reduction training suit, as you see here at the bottom left. Also, training bags, and they will also be given 2 body opponent bags, which you see here on your right. Also included in the budget for necessary medical and office supplies, for anything that's injured, things like that, as well as things that we can use to fix any equipment that malfunctions, so repair parts and things of that nature. So evaluation of instructors. So evaluation of the program determined in part by a certified instructors. Upon successful completion of the course, participants will actually receive a certificate of completion, and the instructors will actually be responsible for retaining records of all of their participants. And if an instructor is unsatisfied with the participant's progress during the course, they can recommend that that participant actually retake the course. Now, with that being said, those participants that would have to retake the course would be given a discounted rate. Because at the end of the day, we want to ensure that they get high quality training and they're successful at what they do. We don't want to do the class just to do the class. If you're going to spend the money and you're going to do it, we want you to actually be able to defend yourself. If we're not confident that you can, we're going to recommend you come back. And that discounted rate hasn't been determined yet, but it will be in the future. And we just want people to understand that we want you to take it seriously. We want you to get the tools necessary to become confident should you be attacked. Instructors will also be asked to keep any notes or on any concerns or compliments that they have for an individual participant, and copies of the records are submitted to the program director at the end of the week. Upon completion of the course, all participants will be asked to complete a simple survey regarding various aspects of the course curriculum. The survey will be done on a 1 to 5 scale. Participants will be asked questions such as, how confident do you feel using the skills that you learned in this course? 1 being not likely at all the way to 5 being extremely likely. Another example would be, how confident do you feel, how likely are you to recommend this course to a friend or family member? Same scale, 1 being not likely, 5 being extremely likely. There will also be a comment section so participants can leave their own feedback at the end of their course during the survey. After each week, the program director will collect all those from the instructors and he will compile a list of data. He will review each one individually and search for any trends or any things that are positive or negative, so that way we can make this program the best for our community. So it will be encouraged to all participants to leave good feedback so that we can accurately assess our program going forward. So in summary, according to the feedback that we have received from speaking with our community leaders as well as people within our community, a basic self-defense course in our community will be well received. With the projected participant, quality staff and equipment, and effective feedback from instructors and participants, this program will be a long-lasting and positive addition to our community and the desire of our citizens to feel safer as they live. Again, I see this program building from self-defense and continuing to grow and having more advanced class. So with budgetary restrictions for the program, will only exist through the lack of participation. And with over 19,000 of our citizens already reaching out, speaking that they could see a lot of benefit from this, we feel that with the budget just in our 12,000, we should have no problem reaching that goal. Our community is growing daily and changing, and with the assistance of the basic self-defense program provided by us here at Best Health EMS, along with working closely with our law enforcement and our instructors, all while feeling secure in the ability to defend themselves in the event of attack. I feel that everybody's going to gain what they need. They're going to be confident, and we're going to be a safer community and grow together. These are some resources if you care to look up some different things. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'm available by email and phone. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.